Good evening. You're on Ottawa Designers. We're here today with Mubarak Farah, who is the owner of ARTSONG Music Studio. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, Sandria. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. So could you give the viewer a little bit of a history on you?
Oh boy. Well, where to start? So yes, so as you mentioned, I am the founder and piano instructor of ARTSONG Music. We are an Ottawa-based music studio located in the West End here in Nepean. Um, and I've been teaching piano now for the past 6 years. I've been playing piano for um, over 20 years.
Wow.
I started when I was about 8 years old. I am currently 36,
That's
so
amazing.
quite
So
some time.
ARTSONG Music, what
Yeah.
type of music do you teach? You teach piano? Do you teach anything else?
So right now I only teach piano.
Okay.
Eventually, my goal though would be to bring on other teachers that teach a number of instruments, right? So eventually, my
Excellent.
goal um, is to have a fully fledged music school.
Excellent.
So basically, piano, guitars, flute, saxophone,
That's
whatever you want to learn, I want
And
to
who can
I
be a
want to teach.
student? Who can be a student? Can it be all ages? Can it be adults, kids, everyone?
So right now, the clientele is anyone ages 5 and older.
Oh,
Yes.
excellent. And you also teach how they can perform. You teach at home, all different categories from beginner to expert.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. And
Yeah,
so you used to be in a musical group. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
absolutely. Yes. So I used to perform in a blues band called Airliner,
Okay.
and we started about 2011, and have been playing together until about 2018, and then I sort of took a different direction in teaching. But currently, I also, in addition to the studio business, I also put together a jazz trio. And so it's called the Mubarak Farah Trio. And what we do is we play in a lot of, um, like our clientele, we want to really target, uh, like we want to target like private
Venue.
clients. Yeah, exactly. So anyone who's doing events, like we're talking like kind of high end things like galas, corporate gigs,
Weddings.
weddings, that type of thing, where people are getting together and they just want a bit of jazz in the background kind of thing.
That's very cool. So
Yeah.
now you mentioned that you have a disability. How has that affected you as far as music, teaching, all of that? Can you discuss that a little?
Of course I can. Absolutely. Yes. So I'm completely blind. I've been blind since I had glaucoma since birth, but I've been like completely blind since about the age of 7.
Wow.
And I got into music because um, I wasn't able to do things like sports.
Absolutely.
I grew up with siblings who were always out there playing sports and doing that, and so I felt like that wasn't you know my thing,
Yeah.
and I knew that I wasn't gonna toss a ball around anytime soon.
So that's good. You got
Yeah,
your own specialty.
absolutely. So then I got into music, and then I got into the blues when I was a teenager, and so I really got into playing that stuff. Throughout my 20s, I played in the pubs and bar gigs and that sort of thing. And now I'm really settling into my career as a music educator.
I
And
love
so
that.
that's really my big focus at the moment.
I love that. And why is music so important to people?
It's an escape. Sometimes people want to get away from their problems for a while, and sometimes listening to music or playing music can be a way to do that. Sometimes it's an outlet, and a creative outlet, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what are your favorite genres other than jazz for teaching? What do you like to teach?
So I like to teach, anything from the Royal Conservatory, um, from the Royal Conservatory books to jazz to pop, to like I like to, get my students as possible. And
Yeah,
yeah, and
that's
so
awesome.
that yeah.
And so, how far would you travel in order to perform for one of these events that you're willing to perform for?
How far would I be willing to travel? I think I think it depends on a number of things,
Okay.
but yeah, it depends on a number of things. It depends on
How long?
how long, travel expenses, that type of thing.
So, what fees
Yeah.
are associated with, say, you performing first, and then what type of fees are associated with your classes?
Oh, with the classes or with performing?
Both.
Okay, so with the classes, the fees are basically, it's like the preparation fees, right? It's like I have to, kind of put the material, put the curriculum together, put the material together, figure out what they're gonna learn. I have to put together kind of an introductory lesson, that sort of thing. And then a lot of that takes time, obviously, and it takes money. And um, but the way I have it broken down is so I charge either so I give them three price packages that they can choose from, and it all depends on time and budget, right? So, students can choose half-hour lessons per week. They can choose the 40-minute lessons per week, or they can choose an hour-long lesson per week.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
all those lessons would be at your studio in the West End, correct?
Correct. So we're located in a wonderful co-working space called Collab Space.
Okay, yeah, I know it. It's
Oh,
great.
you know it. Yes,
Yep.
excellent. Oh, it is such a wonderful, I want to give them a shout out because honestly, without them, this opportunity would not exist, and I'm just so grateful that that they took me on. And my good friend and business mentor, Michael Wood, he actually was the one that connected me with Collab Space.
Ah,
Yeah.
I've done some events there and it's fabulous. I did some speaking events there and I just love the fact of the diversity and the ability to use a space without having to pay a big, huge over fee and things like that. And it's just a wonderful place for people of all sorts to be able to work.
Oh, absolutely. I like the fact that it's yeah, it's so many businesses across so many different industries, and it's really cool to just go and talk to somebody who's in a completely different field and sort of get inside their head and be, hey, what makes your industry work? Like,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's really awesome. And then finding those connections, finding
Yeah,
those connections. It's like, oh, you do this in your business.
yeah.
My industry does this as well. And I just love making those connections and being able to network with people for sure.
Absolutely. And then you can advertise your performing at all of these local businesses for their Christmas parties or for, an appreciation night or a gala or anything like that. It puts you in a great position to link. What are your fees for performing for an event, say for a few hours?
So for for events, of course, it does have to be negotiated, but because so there's three of us, and it would be about 200. Like the minimum would be 200 per member.
Excellent. Okay. And now, how can people get a hold of you if they would like to get a hold of you for either teaching the classes or for a performance studio type of thing? Can you give us your social media, your phone number, and email address, please?
Absolutely. So my social media, they can get in touch with me. So it's Mubarak Farah, Mubarak Farah. They can contact the studio directly by going to ARTSONG Music on Facebook. So it's ARTSONG and then music. So ARTSONG Music. ARTSONG is all one word, music, uh, and then to get in touch with me directly, it's the email is info at artsongmusic.ca. So that's
Very
info
easy to
at
remember.
artsongmusic. And our website, the studio website is www.artsongmusic.ca. And it has a contact form
That's
that people can
fabulous.
fill out. Mhm.
Very easy to remember. Art song music, that's basically the whole gist of the business. I love when businesses don't make you wonder what it is, what's that. This exactly is what you're doing. Easy to remember if you're in the car and you're listening and you can't write it down. Very easy to remember. Art song music, and then you
I,
follow up.
oh, absolutely. And like it's such a cool name too because so the way I got the name is I was taking a history of classical music course. Shout out to Carleton University, uh, Dr. Higney's class. Yes.
My alma mater
Um,
as well.
oh, right on. So I was taking a history of classical music course, and one of the genres that we talked about um, was called the art song. And so, I was at the time trying to come up with names for the music school or for the studio, and I thought art song music, because when I think about it, when I go deeper, I mean, every song is an art song, right?
Absolutely.
Music is art. All songs are art songs. So I kind of put those together, and yeah, art song music.
I love it. Well, I wish you the best. I have my daughter that loves the piano, my youngest son as well. And right now, we were taking a few classes. We've taken a little pause, but I definitely want to get them back into it. And I find it really works the brain for mathematics. It works the brain, as you mentioned, to just release and, go to a different place, learn new things. And it's so subjective per person what is great music or what is something that you're going, I don't want to hear that. So it's wonderful that you have many genres and that you're also able to go and perform those for people. Thank you so much for being on Ottawa Designers.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right. Well, we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you
Oh,
from Art Song Music and Ottawa Designers. Have a good evening.
you too. Thank you.